Good afternoon and welcome to Apex Racing TV. Alex Simpson, Matt Dalton here for what is going to be the final round of the iRacing Grand Prix Series that we're going to cover this season. Matt, thank you for jumping in on a whim. You're not ready. You're not prepared at all. I know. I really appreciate you. You coming in on this one. But let me just take a quick look at qualifying because that has finished. The grid is going to start to form up. So Fernando Guerrero takes pole. Esteban Bollock there in second. Sebastian in third. Francisco is in fourth. Alessio in fifth, and then we've got Thomas in sixth. Quite big grid splits there in times. Just a single split today as well, and I'm not surprised to sort of see that. So, but 22 car field, fairly reasonable. Should be an interesting race. And wow, get going! I think we're so late to the game today. Matt, I know you're not prepared for this. You don't know who's out there, and to be honest, a lot of the drivers in this race are not who we would expect to see as well. I think everybody really at this point getting ready for the Pro Series starts next week. COTA, tricky track, no grip. What's your experience of COTA?
I've done it a little bit. I did have a dabble with the C7 Corvette earlier this year, the IMSA top end car, and obviously when it came out, like everybody else, we did a few laps. So it's going to be interesting. See how it goes.
Yep, here we go. Everyone gets away off the start. Bit of wheel spin. Everybody diving in towards turn one. Looks like a good clean start.
Oh, we've got one spinner off on the inside there. I think Victor Prito got clipped by somebody on the way in.
Yeah,
and there's another accident going in the middle there.
There's always a couple. Yeah, Augusto around as well. Fortunate for him, but Guerrero gets a good start. The front three all get pretty decent start. No issues there. They're away. And who is that in the Martini livery? That looks quite nice.
There's some really good liveries out for the F1 cars actually this year. It's been interesting to see how that's developed.
Yeah, Thomas.
I think my personal favourite is the old classic BAR one at the moment.
Yeah, I haven't personally seen that one, but yeah, Thomas running in the Williams. I'm always a fan of the Williams team in real life, so it's good to see it. Good to see it out there.
A bit of action here for 9th and 10th place with Evan Lathoris and somebody else looking up the inside there.
Yeah,
Hannes Pitkanen.
That does look nice actually.
Made a really good move. Yeah,
that does look good.
Really good move there from Hannes. Those two have been battling out for a couple of corners.
Yeah, and up and through into 11th, and the front really spreading apart already. And Guerrero is certainly going to be one who's going to be going for pro, I feel, and stretching his legs already. 1.3 seconds away, so Esteban's going to have dropped out of the DRS and make his job a little bit harder. But so has pretty much everyone. So Sebastian is the driver who looks like the furthest up who's going to make a move. Looks like we've got unfortunately, our favourite livery has already. I'm not sure he hit the wall there, but down to 17th. Coming out that last corner, it's so easy just to get a little bit out of shape through there. We saw a lot of that in the World Championship, and another victim, and then straight behind him as well. Who was that? I think that was Francisco there, just recovering. Problems for him, spinning.
Well, that's one way to get yourself onto TV, isn't it?
No, that's it. Yeah, we'll find you.
Works. It's airtime for the sponsors and whatever. If you manage to get yourself into a bit of rough.
Yeah, big shout out to everybody who's tuning in. Thank you. Obviously, new time. Well, it's not a new time, but it is. It feels like an hour earlier because of the clock change. Almost caught me out. I was looking at it thinking, it's about 11:40. Oh crap! I'm gonna have to get downstairs.
Yeah, nobody told my kids the clock went back, unfortunately. I got dragged out of bed too early this morning.
And just having a little look at this battle for 11th and 12th place. Just seems this second half of the circuit, that's where a lot of the side-by-side action is going to happen, multiple lines. We saw that with Alonso, didn't we, as well? You can just stick your nose at the inside through there.
Yeah, it's a really tight, twisty section with a lot of second, first gear corners, isn't it? And it's I find it a little bit niggly to drive myself, but it does seem to create good racing. It does create opportunities, and yeah, as you say, Alonso with a controversial, but in my mind, fantastic cheeky move, stealing a position from Massa. I thought Massa was asleep a little bit.
I'm going to leave the door open like that. Well, I expect someone to take it. Sebastian moved himself up into 4th place. We missed that move. But yeah, clean through. At 3, DRS is enabled. He's close enough behind Alessio Colonna here to use it again. Let's see. Opens up the final part of the S's so that he gets good drive off, and yeah, looking particularly quick. Though obviously didn't have very good qualifying, and now trying to work his way forward.
Just going to overtake you with Gary Larson. Victor Prieto making another move up the inside there. That's the second time he's done that at that corner, so that's another opportunistic move.
DRS enabled for Seb as he goes down that back straight, and yeah, pretty slam dunk there. Hits the apex fine, like candy from a baby, that one. Yeah, straight through, no problem. So up to 3rd place. He's got 3.8 seconds to catch up to Esteban ahead of him, though. So the front two really have sort of jumped away very, very quickly.
Yeah, Esteban and Fernando especially seems to be on a different planet. It's like he's driving a different car to everybody else out there at the moment.
Mark Warmington, he's got his... I thought Victor was his teammate, but no, sorry, it's Victor Draveguard, isn't it? Is Mark's teammate. So yeah, so good little 3-car battle here. So led by Francisco in 9th, sorry 6th, and then 7th we've got Mark, and Victor. Well, Victor was in 8th, but just leaps up the inside going into turn 1, takes that position away from Warmington.
I wonder if he got a bad start at the beginning, Victor, because he's made some progress in the last couple of laps. I mean, he's probably picked up 3 or 4 spots in the last 3 laps. He's certainly somebody who's on a move forwards.
Yeah, or maybe just a bad qualifier. You remember, you only get 1 lap in this series to qualify. There's 2, but just the nature of the ERS means you only actually get 1. And iRacing are pretty insistent that they won't change it for the series. So the whole community's screaming at them, saying, "Well, we don't get 2 laps, we only get 1, but we're not changing it, we're not listening." So, yeah, it's so
I've no
easy
idea
to
what you
get
mean.
it.
It's not like that.
Oh no, of course not. I say it how it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pull no punches there. He's certainly on the move forwards though, Victor. I mean, he's cruised up to the back of Francisco in front of him, and he's wasted no time getting all over the back of him. He's determined to give him the monster treatment at some point, yeah?
Yeah, just get close enough to do exactly the same down into turn 1. It's not the easiest of places to get the run into turn 1, so, you know, car looks hooked up as well through the... just darting out already, having a little look. Guerrero puts in a new fastest lap, 139.855.
He's making his own lines at the moment, isn't he? In fact, he's got in there. He's got a good enough run at the last corner, and it looks like Francesco has just made a little mistake, and that'll be enough. So the march up the field continues with Victor Prieto.
Yeah, 1.7 seconds to Thomas. Thomas dropped down. He was... oh no, sorry, he hasn't dropped down, has he? So he was already behind Alessio. Seb moving his way up through the field. So yeah, a couple of drivers on the charge here then. So see how Seb's doing. Just 3.7 seconds behind Esteban. So very similar pace last lap by 141.6 versus 141.1. So 0.4 of a second quicker. So a long way to go in this race. 56 laps. So we're expecting just a one-stop strategy from everybody. And yeah, there you go. Matt, I pulled you in on a 100% race as well, just to really, really stuff it to you.
Oh, really? Oh, brilliant! I do like Formula One, so I'm not entirely.
I'm so generous.
You are. In no way, shape, or form have you stitched me up completely on this one. Thanks very much for that.
Yeah, but you might be cutting it all short. Depends when the real Grand Prix starts. Right, it's green lights on the real one. Let's go.
No, it's this evening, isn't it? It's 6
Yeah,
o'clock tonight,
yeah.
I think, or 7 o'clock. Depending on what the hell's happening with the time zones, because until we work that one out, we don't know where we are. I think the rest of the world gets confused enough of what's the difference between GMT and BST, and we've got no hope over here either.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone just thinks we're always GMT, but yeah, that's not true.
No.
I wasn't sure this morning if we had an extra hour in bed or not. I don't think it was it? Doesn't feel like it.
It's supposed to have been.
Was it?
Yeah. That is the plan. Drag kicking and screaming this morning after yesterday's efforts with the World Cup.
Yeah, well, we're through, so yeah, all good. And yeah, it's come at quite a bad time actually, the World Cup. We've obviously all of the different Pro Series about to start. You've got the 3, obviously, now that obviously people prioritise, and a Vegas event as well. Le Mans 24 hours. I mean,
yeah.
it's like if there's a worse time to schedule an event, it's I'm not sure there is.
Well, in fairness,
Christmas?
I think the World Cup was scheduled first. The rest of it kind of was monstered over the top of it. I don't know. It's something they'll have to look at for next year when they review the things to look at for the tournament. But
well, I think always
I don't think anybody would expect a Le Mans 24 hour to be in August or October. To be honest, most people would expect it to be in June, and probably next year it will be.
Yeah, I think so. It was obviously just late coming, wasn't it, the track? So we see some moves going on here. That's Victor. I don't know if it had a slowdown or something, because he's dropped all the way back down behind Gary. Well, he did for a second, Gary Larson, but picks back up and gets back ahead of him. But yeah, again behind Mark Warmington, so he's got to do those few overtakes all again.
Yeah, I'll have a look at it. Interesting to see what happened there. I'll see if I can find out what happened, because he had cruised up to the back of Thomas Busch. I don't think it's Boucher, because there's no accent above the E, but there we go. Forgive the pronunciation if it's not quite right. It's been a little while since I had to use my French.
Yeah, of course, we must be coming into the final stages of the Le Mans race as well. So
he had a little spin going through the tight section. He'd actually made the pass on Thomas Busch going in down the back straight, and then following the 2 right-handers in the next loop after that, he just dropped it coming through the second one.
And straight back past Mark as well. So definitely got a lot of pace out there. Moves himself back up and into 6. 5.7 seconds to chase Thomas down again. I'm sure he will.
It's a strange place to have lost it as well. I don't think he'd have been expecting that at all. I suspect the air in that car has gone a little bit of a distinctly Iberian red mist.
I will, yeah, the greatest thing about this car is it will catch you anywhere that you're not expecting it to. You'll feel comfortable and confident, and then all of a sudden you'll just be like, ooh, oh, geez, you know, there it is.
Sounds wonderful. Where do I buy one?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I do own the F1 car. I've got to be honest, I do like, it is one of those cars that I do like to jump in and try and have a drive with every now and again. Obviously, I'm in no way, shape or form competitive with it at all, but like a lot of things on iRacing, it's good fun to pick up and just have a try with something else for a little while. And it's nice to see we've got so much choice at the minute, actually. In fairness to iRacing, they do a lot of things very well.
Yeah, I like to hit on them a little bit, try and push things forward. But
there's no hidden agendas whatsoever, is there?
No, but yeah, you're right. I will happily sit here right now and say by far the best, online racing service out there. It's where all the competition is. You got to do that until somebody else comes up with something similar to this. They're always going to play second fiddle to what we're doing here. So.
I think we should just say thanks that they haven't given us something like 196 different engine settings that the real Formula 1 drivers have to look through. I don't fancy my chances of trying to do a Lewis Hamilton at Baku earlier this year and have to rummage through trying to find the right setting when the engine's not set correctly.
Yeah, I think you're right there. Although we do have quite a lot of settings that we can choose, I tell you that.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, 14 different ERS modes. Yeah, in fixed and adaptive, and then of course you have the different power setting modes of the engine as well. So if you if you work out those, tell you what, I bet we're not far off that. So
I take it back then. That's
you
truly
start to work
terrifying.
them together and things like that. So
I think that's the difference between somebody like myself who jumps in to tries to drive, and then the guys at the front here like Sebastian, I'm just watching here at the moment, who just seems to have it really hooked up in every way, and probably is somebody who knows exactly what he's doing with near enough every single setting.
good little battle going on out there at the moment. Evan trying to work his way back up after he made the mistake earlier on in this race. Closing down 13th at the moment. It's Takio. Through the S's, just getting a load of push and dirty air through there. You can see him just really struggling to hook up the line. You really have to compromise the way you drive that when you're tucked up behind someone. Just scrub a bit extra speed off so you can make sure at least the exit coming out of that final part of the S is spot on, so you're not losing sort of a 3 or 4 tenths of a second. Better to scrub and lose maybe a tenth or two, so that you're still in range to have a move. And is he close enough? DRS is open, but late on the brakes for him. Slides it in there, and Takio has to almost jump out of the way, and he's almost going to lose a place to Augusto here as well, but holds on. Saw him come in and gave him enough room, and he needed to. Aggressive from Evan, but yeah, got it done.
Yep. End result is as required, isn't it?
Exactly. That's all you. As long as you give a room. I think the only trouble when you do some of those moves is a lot of drivers won't give you the room.
Oh, Takio's just dropped it in the last corner, actually. Just gave it a little bit too much, I think, on entry. Just turned it in a bit too hard.
But loads of people, I thought for a minute we're going to have a bit of a bigger pack coming screaming around there and run into him, but as it is, it's got a nice big gap. They just lost the one place to, well, 2 places, though, to Augusto and Andreas Rinks.
He just needs to gather himself up a little bit there. He's just made a mistake going into turn 1 as well after, and it's all too easy sometimes when you've just had a little spin. You got the tyres heated up and the adrenaline flowing just to make a bit of a haulix of the next 6 or 7 corners as well. You just gotta take half a lap just to sort yourself out, gather your thoughts, and get back on it.
Sebastian getting very, very sideways there in the sort of the twisty section of the circuit on the bottom end, and just about collects it up. He was just about to sort of break inside the 2-second barrier. He still has done that. But yeah, a little mistake there, just pushed him back a fraction. See what he can do, see how close he gets. Let's have a look at the lap time difference. Istvan really dropped off the previous lap. And there was a 141.7 versus 141.6, so closing in at 6 tenths of a second. So a lot of drop off for Istvan out there right now, really struggling to keep the car on track time-wise. Tyres obviously very, very important. Matt, are you able just to let me know what the track temp is out there at the moment? I can't see that off of my data, unfortunately.
Yeah, track temperature at the moment is 79 Fahrenheit with a 9-mile-an-hour easterly wind, relative humidity of 42%.
Okay, so pretty, yeah, it's pretty cool actually.
It's quite cool, yeah, and it's a clear sky as well, so I mean it'll be a little slick, but it's not by any means, shape or form the sort of weather that will leave you with large headaches.
Late afternoon, which is really what's cooling the temperature down. So, tyres will last. So can't see anybody two-stopping this race. But yes, I'm surprised to see that sort of drop off from Istvan. Maybe just had a moment somewhere that we didn't see that just cooked his tyres. So easily happened. Victor onto the back of Thomas here as well. So this battle, well, it took about 5 laps or so to torn back up again. But here we go. Oh, just straight up the inside, no mercy whatsoever there. He was like, I'm coming through. So that was surely an Ayrton Senna moment if there ever was one. I see gap. I go.
Yeah. If you no longer go for gap, you're no longer a racing driver. I think is that quote is probably responsible for more dive bombs in sim racing than anything that anybody else could have done or said since.
I know, it's priceless, isn't it? It's like the get out of jail free card.
I was a massive Senna fan when I was a kid, but I wish to God you could go back and just say to him, please don't say that. You have no idea how many people are going to try and copy you in the future.
And of course, the end result in that particular incident was a massive wipeout as well, just as the same as it is in most sim racing.
I was going to say in the vast majority of incidents, yeah.
Yeah.
It applies on oval as well. I've heard people applying it to NASCAR racing, and you're just sitting there shaking your head, like thinking, no, it's just you can't dive bomb from 3 car lengths back at 200 miles an hour. That's not how it works.
Looking at Gary Larson and Francisco Barini here. And these guys have been sort of exchanging positions, but the last few laps, Francisco's just been a little bit quicker. He's in the DRS zone, 0.3 of a second back, so he's in range. It's going to be quite a late move if he gets it done. So if anything under 0.4, you've got an opportunity, but it doesn't really close up down the straight. Right at the end, he does, and gets that move done late on the brakes. That was good. Gary, very, very fair. I think he could have defended the inside there and made that a whole lot harder than it appeared to be there, but perhaps just trying to do his thing.
Yeah, just having a look on the stream, see if we got any comments. We've got some people watching, which is always good, so if you guys got any comments or questions, please give them a shout and we'll try and answer them as best we can.
Yeah, a little bit low today, but I guess that's probably because iRacing Live is probably pumping out the Le Mans race instead of ours right now. I think we can forgive them for that.
Yeah, obviously Le Mans 24-hour ongoing. No idea who's leading or second or anywhere, or still running or not.
Yeah, hour and a half to go. Just checking in on that one.
An awful lot of rubber down on that track by the look of it as well.
Yeah, making it very slick and greasy. If ever a stranger sentence was ever said as far as racing goes, I'm not sure. Right, let's take stock where we are. Just 13 laps into this race, and Fernando has himself a whopping 13.7 seconds leads. Esteban being closed down 1.1 seconds, so the battle's certainly going to be on for second place. Victor closing in on Alessio for fourth as well. That's going to be a good little battle, I feel. Lap time's getting, well, no, still 1.6 seconds quicker that last lap, so I think, yeah, Victor, like you say, he must have definitely had a problem with qualifying on that first lap, because right now he's lapping quicker than sort of Esteban is, so he should be sat right in the sort of, second or third in this race based off of his pace. So yeah, just that shocking qualifier meant he's gonna have to work his way through.
Yeah, Seb and Istvan is closing up as well. These two starting to get towards starting to tighten things up for second and third place, trying to see if we can get interesting. Seb's doing his best. Been quicker for the last 5 or 6 laps, barring a little mistake I think on lap 12, so he's definitely starting to take an interest in that second place.
Yeah, he's one of only 2 drivers running in the 1:40s right now as well, and still 0.6 of a second slower than our leader, but quicker than everybody else out there. So I was just having a look at the circuit as they come streaming down that back straight. One thing I would love to see iRacing add into their graphical package is a bit of like bit of heat waves, you know, heat haze, whatever you want, however you want to say it.
Yep.
Now we don't get any of that in the distance stuff. That would really just, just a simple little thing to add in. Would just give it that bit better environment.
Yeah, well, there is a lot of stuff we know they're working on, isn't there? It's I think now they're finally on to DX11. There's a lot of stuff they're looking at. We know that day-night transitions and things like that are something they're looking to work on, and the popcorn effects and things like that from gravel and dust is obviously always getting better and always improving. And the smoke is something that tire smoke, things like that, has got a lot better in recent times. So
yeah, definitely.
I'm sure it's something they're aware of. The thing is, if you're one of the fortunate few to have a 1080 or something, a graphics card powerful enough, there are not many things that look as good as this does with all the settings turned up.
Little
mistake there by Istvan, yeah.
Yeah, and then a lock up from Seb as well, just to avoid running into him, I think, more than anything. So I think this is going to come to blows at the coming down this back straight. Although Seb, not a good exit there, drops 4/10 back. Hello Zoran on the chat. Welcome, thanks for tuning in.
Nice to see someone to say hello.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing him.
See how well the DRS works here. Is that going to be is he close enough for that to work?
I think he's just a bit too far back this time, so he'll get close. But yeah, he just pulls out of it. So just a poor exit really through the from the S's. That's what set him back. He was sort of back to half a second away again. So you need to be inside that 4/10 to really make it work. That's where you get the big advantage of the slipstream.
Yeah, that to me looks more like we would hope DRS should work in real life. Because in actual fact, it seems like if you're within 8/10 and you get onto a straight up COTA and you can open the DRS and you can just drive around someone with, at will.
Yeah, it all comes down to energy that you've got on board, really. Istvan would have used a fair bit of energy there to defend his position. It was fairly easy done, but yeah, you do have to use a fair bit of that. So, and the DRS is quite effective, but I tell you what's not effective. They just need to just fine tune, and that's I've gone on about this time and time again. It's just the actual slipstream effect. It's just a bit underdone. You often see in the real races. I think it was at COTA last week. We saw even like I think one of the McLarens got overtaken, fairly straightforward. But even with the slipstream, they were almost able to get back ahead, even with the car ahead of them having DRS flap open. That's how much of an effect the slipstream has as well, and it's massively underdone. We will gain maybe 1-2 kilometers an hour in the slipstream with no DRS open. So it's it's a bit short of where it needs to be. So. But you're right. I think that's kind of what they wanted for the real racing, was just to aid a little bit, but not completely make it easier. These big long stages like Spa and places like that, we're already
Istvan made a mistake. That's allowed Sebastian through easily, so that's detracted from our entertainment slightly.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's what pressure. That's what you got to do sometimes. Put the pressure on the other guy and hope he makes a mistake. It's every bit as effective as a skilled undercut or dummy overtake.
Easily done, I tell you, that corner as well. And the braking points sort of, they don't really, or the marker boards don't really stand out there, and you can easily miss one and think, there it is, and it's like, oh no, that's the last one. Like jump on the brakes.
Istvan made another mistake there going through the last corner. So there's that, and again, is that, being not an F1 experienced driver, is that the tyres likely going off, or is that just the cumulative effect of a mistake that cost him a position rattling round in his mind?
I think so, more than anything. It didn't look like he had a moment or anything like that on the brakes. He just realised that he'd missed it and just braked late. He kept the braking straight, just overshot the corner and come back on, but he didn't try and slide it into the corner sideways or anything like that would have overcooked the tyres. And much the same as the oval, as soon as the heat builds up, the grip just falls off. So he's made sure he's not done that. Right, I can't see him getting back on terms. He's already 1.4 seconds back, so no DRS for him this time. So Seb's away.
Seb's definitely on a mission, isn't he?
Too far back to do anything about Fernando at the front, and of course Fernando still lapping quicker anyway, so
He's on a different planet today, isn't he?
Just yeah, definitely going to be one to keep a little eye out for. He's going to be competing, I'm sure, in the Pro Series. Whether those top 10 spots so difficult. Who's going to turn up for those events? I don't know. I think there's going to be a couple of sort of names that we're perhaps not expecting jump in. Some that are as well. It'll be interesting. Of course, the GT Series run in parallel, and as much as we hate to admit it in the F1 community, that's by far the more popular series.
It's accessibility, isn't it? That's what GT3 was invented for, effectively.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's you know, it's just as easy to get into as both cars are in this one, but the technical side of getting up to speed in the F1 is just pretty immense. There's a lot to learn, both in driving it and then setting it up, and I think that's what puts a few people off.
Yep. Hobbies are all about having a balance, isn't it? And until the days where the prizes are significant enough that it can become more than a hobby, I think this is something that just is one of those things that happens. But Grand Prix should, and always, you would hope, will always be the premium of where people want to end up. So,
just on board with Mark Warmington coming through the S's, popping up over the hill, heads back down again. Sitting in 7th place, just doing his thing. Lap time slightly quicker than a couple of guys ahead of him right now, so may be able to move a bit further forward. As we've seen many a time in this series as well, is there's always this little lull in the middle of the race. So everyone breaks apart a bit, and then long run pace starts to kick in. Tyres drop off, and we see them coming back together during the pit stop phase again, and then again it breaks apart during that pit stop phase, and then the last sort of 10 laps always exciting again. So yeah, right there. Everyone really battling at all. Not sure quite what happened to Seb that lap. He was a 142.9, particularly slow. 2.5 seconds slower than our leader. So there's a mistake there that cost him.
yeah, you would think so. His previous lap was a 40.7, which is pretty quick. So just seems to be a little bit of inconsistency there.
100% Grand Prix distance race, 56 laps around here. It's not easy to do when you've only got 17 off tracks. It's so easy to run off here, unlike real life.
But
does
because the track limits did not apply last week at all.
No,
did
they were just all over them as well. So it's crazy. Yeah, I don't get how they can let that go there, and then at other tracks like the Red Bull Ring. You know, they were punishing them for going like a couple of inches over the curb, weren't they? It was just like, oh, where's the consistency? Sound like Ron Dennis.
The argument was something to do with time gained, wasn't it? That they were saying that with what they were doing last week, they didn't feel there was a time gain out of it. But then, to be fair, I have two words for that, and in the words of James Hunt, I think that's bull.
Yep, I agree. They're only doing it.
Drivers don't do things for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. They're only doing it because there's time gain there. It saves the tyres because they're allowed to run out a little bit wider, so they haven't got as much lock on and things like that. So, you know, there's lots of advantages for doing it. So, you know, if there was grass there, they wouldn't do it, would they?
No, well, but if ever there was a sport whereby a series of patch fixes to try and improve the show, instead of addressing the fundamental issues, was prevalent, it's Formula One.
An agreement.
You know, we don't want to address the downforce issue and the fact that you've got aerodynamicists left, right, and centre. So we'll put DRS in, which is the most fake addition to overtaking ever, and I personally hate it. I think it's horrible. But it gets overtaken. But the thing is, people don't want to see overtaking when it's in a straight line. People want to see people out braking each other and driving around the outside of each other. But you know, they're not even willing to allow that to happen, because it's quite clear from this year and previous years that if you're on the outside of another driver, you're allowed to be driven off the track.
Yep. Yeah, and you're not allowed to go for moves that push other people out or anything, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, and you're allowed to vigorously defend to the inside of a straight, even when there's another car actually already near enough alongside you. I don't really get that. Oh, Victor nearly tangling with Raymond Grifori and Yeah, that guy. That's a surname I can't quite get my head around. Sorry, Raymond, I do apologise. But they nearly tangled there. I think Raymond was trying to move out of the way and let him through, and it nearly collected Victor Prito.
Yeah, we missed that Victor got up to 4th place as well, so he's on the hunt now for Istvan. There's not much between those two, about a 1/10 of a second a lap last time by. Let's see what they do this time as Victor comes across the time. Obviously a bit back marker slowed him down a little bit, so lost a bit of ground, but
some impressive consistency in Victor's lap times though. He's 141, 141.3, 141.1, 141.1. I mean, that's, he's banging the lap times in.
Well, looks good through the Estids as well.
Yeah, I think
it's picking up all the apexes even at this stage in the stint as well. So 21 laps in is quite a distance.
Yeah, I think Istvan's is quick. I think he just his consistency doesn't seem to be quite there at the minute. Seems to be bouncing around as the occasional 42 in his lap time. So he does have actually a little bit of damage, doesn't he? Looking at the front of Istvan's car, is there a bit of damage to the front wing there?
Just a little bit on the nose. Yeah, probably just caught a high curve. That'll be a bit frustrating because it's probably nothing that's affecting him too much. Maybe a K or 2 down the straight, but of course he'll be forced to change that nose, and that's going to cost him about 6 seconds. No way of saying don't fix that.
I still remember the days in Formula 1 where they used to come out with a set of screwdrivers and it'd be like 30-40 seconds for a nose change.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it made no sense to do it at all back then, did it really? But now
it's almost as easy as a tyre stop, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It really is. And but what we've seen time and time again actually is the wings are so fancy now, but yeah, they get damaged and sometimes they go faster. They radio in. How's the balance? It's better. It's like what?
Yeah.
You're missing half an end plate.
They're all crazy at the minute, aren't they? And it's another. It's like I say, you go back to it being frustrating. Last year, they had an opportunity at the end of last year to set out the rules for 2017 and to put ground effect back in, get rid of the front wings the way they are at the minute, and give the cars mechanical grip or an aero grip that was not going to be disrupted by the wake of a car in front. And it's like, no, we know what we're going to do. We're going to put even bigger front wings on, and you wonder if the guys in charge are really. I don't think it's pretty clear the teams have absolutely no interest in making Formula 1 a better sport to watch. They just want to win, and that's it.
Yep, too true.
I mean, if NASCAR could see that low downforce is the way to go, then I don't understand how F1 can't. But they have actually got bigger tyres. Hopefully the tyres will last long enough that without falling apart that we can actually see drivers pushing next year rather than cruising around a second or 2 in front of each other, not wanting to get near to the car in front for fear of overheating the things.
I don't remember who made the point. Might have been yourself actually, Matt. But we were talking about obviously the World Endurance Championship, where that's how they drive that car is exactly how we want the F1s to be drove. They drove that car 100% all the time,
Yep.
and the tyres will last 2 stints, so they absolutely hammer at it. Well, that's endurance racing, so it should all be about tyre saving and all sorts of stuff that goes on there, and eking out the fuel tanks and whatnot to gain a 1 or 2 stops less or something like that over the course of it. Oh, Istvan's around. He's not around, but he's into the wall. And that front wing's going to need changing now. Just got a little bit too aggressive on the gas pedal coming out of the right-hander through the S's. And he was lucky. He's still going, but yeah. So back to my point. Yeah. So they drive that car, absolutely flat out. But yeah, in Formula 1, drive it like an absolute pansy, about 6 seconds off the pace that it's capable of, just because tyres fall off and all that, and engines and motors don't last and whatnot. So
well, I don't want to be
the other way around. Really
yeah, I don't want to be one of those guys who sits and says the 80s was better, because in a lot of cases the 80s wasn't, and there's a massive amount of rose-tinted spectacles that goes into looking at 1980s racing, whether it's touring cars or F1 or whatever. But the guys back then would get out of the car and they would look absolutely smashed. I mean, they would be so tired, there'd be sweat dripping off them all over the place. They would literally be on the point of exhaustion and collapse. Now, we don't want to see that, because obviously it's dangerous, but at the same time, you knew they'd been in a race. And since then, you see the guys get out now, and they get out of the car and they barely look like they've even broken a sweat. Except for the two Mercedes boys with their outfit keeps going almost see-through, which is frankly hideous. Please, God, talk to Alpine Stars and get some non-see-through leathers. That would be really nice. But they just don't look like they're putting any effort into it. And you listen to interviews with Alonso or Hamilton, and they're saying that they're not pushing the cars. And they're not pushing themselves, and they're getting, you can't go that fast through turn 7, watch your left rear tyre temperature and all that. To me, everybody will have their own opinion and everybody will have the correct way of doing things, but for me, I think that they need to kill the telemetry from the car to the pit wall completely. By all means, leave a little bit of engine stuff in there or anything for safety, but otherwise, tyre temperatures and all that, get rid of a lot of it. It shouldn't be there. It should be down to the driver and his backside to monitor that. It shouldn't be done by 15 thermal cameras detecting every single position of the tyre through a race. It's ridiculous. I mean, they talk about costs. Stop putting 4 billion sensors all over the car. That will reduce some cost for you.
And some weight.
Well, yeah. Make the wheels a standard type of wheel. You're allowed a steel rim. They're all running like molybdenum hubs and bits and all sorts of different obscene materials, and graphene is a new one that's coming in that they look into input, because obviously it's stronger than carbon fibre and lighter as well, and they're looking at all of this stuff, and rightly so, because it gives them an advantage, but the money is ridiculous, and it just will keep growing until somebody gets hold of it and just says enough. To me, I would personally go with ground effect. I would give them free range of development over engines. Not one spec formula. You can do whatever you want. You must have a battery. This is how much fuel you get. What configuration they go with after that is entirely up to them. I would go with ground effect aerodynamics, a spec front wing and a spec rear wing for them to use, and then the rest I would just leave open to development. Suspension, brakes, engine, it's up to them what they do.
There's obviously a big argument as well of is Formula 1 the most exciting series to watch now, and the obvious answer to that is no. But a lot of these spec series, like GP2 for example, coming up quite strong, getting a lot of popularity, and Formula E as well, that's gaining a bit of momentum. Everybody laughed when that come out now, but it's starting to be taken a bit more serious, and the development of that's only going even further as well. So some of the races
the thing with Formula E.
fun.
The thing with Formula E, they're appealing to a new audience.
Yep. Oh, they're going for the youth basically. They know that that's the future, really.
Well, they're in a fortunate position.
While we're having our little a little debate. Around the outside, who was that? Augusto got overtaken. I think it was. I'm not sure who it was. I think it's a back marker. Never mind.
Just looking to see whether there's any action on the track at the minute, but while we're doing that, yeah, I mean, Formula E is in a fortunate position though, isn't it? In that they can have street races where the crowds are close enough to the cars, because the things aren't fast enough to be a threat if they have an accident. So they can put the crowd close to the action, which is great because people want to see that, but that's not going to last. As soon as somebody figures a way of making them do 180 mile an hour, they have to run them on Formula 1 tracks, at which point it won't be anywhere near as interesting to watch.
Yeah, it'll be interesting what these new McLaren batteries are going to be like that they're developing for this coming year, is it, I think? 2017 they're going to bring them in, or is it the year after? That nice Red Bull livery there.
I'm really not sure, I've got to be honest with you. I'm quite cynical about the whole Audi movement into Formula E as well. I've got to be fair. If you just had a couple of $1 billion worth of lawsuits out in the United States about emissions, then the obvious thing to do is pull out of World Endurance and go and race in a battery-operated series. But if you're a true cynic, you'd say the next move would be into NASCAR, because if you want to improve your reputation in the US, then that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Hey presto, there's been a lot of rumours about them doing exactly that.
I'm trying to figure out, I'm just flipping around like crazy at the minute. Yeah, pit stops are us now. It's really starting to heat up. Let's just take a second just to see where we're at. Who we had into the pits? Mark Warmington's in. Thomas Bush has been in. This year Cologne has been in. And Victor Prato's been in. So yeah, definitely that time of the race, just over 50%. Sorry, just under 50%. Oh, Warmington late on the brakes. Has to adjust his line somewhat so that he doesn't hit Thomas, but yeah, much quicker sort of stage pre-pit stop for him, closed that gap massively. The stop distance time was very similar, just 0.4 of a second in it, 4.1 and 4.5 seconds. So yeah, Mark's done extremely well in the second phase of his first stint to close this gap up. Gary Larson in 5th place, hasn't pitted yet.
Yeah, Mark's got the bit between his teeth here, and he's going after Thomas fairly hard. Yeah, and this is probably the best action on the track at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. There's actually nothing else at the moment. Just for the guys that are in the chat that are listening to to us as well. I know David wants to get involved.
Yeah, he likes to give me a bit of abuse.
Yeah, you know, just getting, you know, what do you want to see, you know, change and things like that. Where do you want to see it go? And but yeah, I'm keen to see, you know, what changes 2017 bring. Eventually, it will all change around, I'm sure. Eventually, technology will move on so far that what we're looking at, you know, right now, it'll be completely different, you know. So.
Well, I was reading something the other day about next year with F1, and somebody was saying that the teams are actually not sure how much faster the cars are going to be next year. The aim was to pick up about 3 or 4 seconds, but unofficially the teams apparently have told people at the moment that on some tracks they think it's going to be as much as 9 seconds a lap.
9 seconds, wow.
Which is, I mean, that's nuts, and that's going to reinvent what was required in safety terms as well, because that's so much faster. All of a sudden, corners that were easy this year corners that were difficult this year become easy next year, and some that were easy this year in terms of being a third gear left-hander or something will suddenly become a massive challenge. And
our leader has pitted. He's come out and in second place, 0.4 seconds behind Sebastian, so who hasn't pitted yet. So this will be candy from a baby. The amount of drive he's going to have coming out of this this sort of semi-hairpin corner. DRS flap pops open. Deb goes a little bit defensive. He wants to hold on to it. Why not have a battle? It is for position. And actually, Fernando goes, do you know what? I'm not going to be silly here. I've got this race won. Last thing I need to do is hit somebody with worn out tyres. So just drives right around the outside of him. Puts that fresh rubber to good use. So yeah, that's what we like to see.
The old Alonso move there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did a good job there though. Fresh rubber, just did what he needed to do. Gave himself plenty of room to do it. Nice and patient. It's impressive stuff from Fernando. That.
And I tell you what, there's one interesting little series that I saw. That everyone's gone, this is just going to be absolutely nonsense to watch. But actually I think the car technology that will be developed from that is the driverless car racing. I mean, okay, it's going to be hard to get behind.
We've already got driverless car racing. It's called remote control. It sounds like Formula E, it looks like Formula E, and it's driverless. Yeah. Technically.
But from a technology point of view, you know, how far they can develop that and stuff like that, that's really what's going to push technology. Like when you can get cars driving around tracks, you know, they can throw all sorts of downforce packages on there. I mean, it'd be great to see cars pulling like, you know, 8G through the corners and stuff like that. You know?
I would love to see somebody build like the old Red Bull thing that they put into Gran
Oh,
Turismo.
that'd be awesome.
The no limits car. Like, build a no limits car. How quick could it go? I suspect it would be alarming. I've got to be honest, and you probably would need to be driverless because the driver wouldn't be able to handle the G-forces.
Exactly. Well, that's really what I'm getting at. Is the only reason you'd want it to be driverless is to see how quick it could go. So.
Yeah. Well, you think of the technology that F1 shunned because it was too dangerous and too fast.
Yeah.
So you'd have something with ground effect and a big fan on the back, like the old Brabham F1 car, sucking the air out to hold it down even more.
Yeah.
You'd have insane wings and aero. You'd have possibly more than 4 wheels because they looked at that as well to reduce drag, didn't they? And that would be something you could review. All the power of the biggest turbo on the face of the planet from the 1980s welded to the current 8 megajoule world endurance electricity hybrid. That'd be a couple of thousand horsepower,
Let's make it happen, quick.
Dear Mr. Newey, if you're watching, can you please.
Let's get on Kickstarter. Surely they'll help.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got 100 grand. Will that help? I think you'd probably need the budget of NASA, wouldn't you?
I think so. Well,
good stop from Sebastian. No, he's back on the track.
4.4 stop, fairly straightforward, and away comfortably in second place now, 10 seconds ahead of Istvan. Istvan, even with his problems, and he did have to pit longer as well, while we're still watching this battle with Mark Warmington and Thomas Bush, but that was a 10.9 second stop for Istvan, so yeah, cost him a bit, but still quite safely in third place, and with fresh wing, fresh tyres, I would hope to think, as long as he doesn't make another mistake, could hold on to this podium position. Yeah, Warmington really coming through, looking strong. Victor Proto shown as a lap down. Do we know why that is? Did he have
no, we'll have a look.
Some sort of
what's going on there
or something like that. But yeah, having to recover through 10.3 second stop for him as well. But I think he had a bit of damage on his wings, from what I can remember from the first stint, so that's why he was in there a long time.
Lap 27 was a 157 and 28 was a 158. That's miles off. Something definitely not right there, is there?
Yeah, so something's cost him. Stan's just recovering, using the F1 lines from this weekend, or the last weekend, as it was. We definitely got the timings wrong, didn't we, with the schedule? Because I think, if I remember rightly, the Suzuka race was the week after, rather than on the same week, and the this one's been the week after as well.
I'm not sure, gotta be honest.
Mark seems to be
Victor had a bit of right hand side damage there on lap 25, so I'm just gonna see if I can find out what happened.
Disconnect or something like that? 'Cause she's just lost a whole lap,
It's something on lap 23, I believe. I'll find out for you now.
Mark just can't seem to get within this sort of half a second barrier. All the dirt, none of the advantage of the slipstream. Actually loses 3/10 through the S's, so really struggling through the S's. Actually almost drops out of the DRS zone right now, so really bad first sector for Mark. Needs to hope that he's just inside. I think he's out. I don't think he's going to get it. That's yeah. Oh no, still just inside at the time, so you can use that DRS to close up down the straight. Needs to absolutely have the best sector of his life through here again. If he's going to stay inside, 1.1 seconds is the live gap.
end of the main straight on lap 24. Victor turns into the left-hander at the end of the straight, and there's a back marker there that's had an error. It looks like he's coming back on the track and just collects him. So my guess is there's quite a bit of suspension damage and all sorts going on in there.
Yeah, and lap times look way off at the minute. Last time was a 1:56, so you know he's really struggling out there right now.
Yeah, I think he's pretty blameless on that one.
Looks like he's just trying to finish the race just to try and conserve something. He's got quite a margin over people, but we've got 20 odd laps to go here, so not going to be easy. Warmington
Mark
makes
just
another
running
mistake.
Off. Yeah. He's definitely pushing hard, chasing after Thomas, isn't he?
Yeah, and it's just going the wrong way, isn't it? Just needs to get back in his rhythm. He'd already done this hard work and closed him down once, so just overcooking it, trying to get close. Lost him, just settle back in your rhythm, Mark, and go about it again. Our leader running in the 39s now, by the way, so very strong. 139.8 last time by. 29-second lead he has now. Not much anyone can do out there against the pace that Guerrero's showing at the moment.
No, he's slightly on a different planet, isn't he? He's woken up, had his Weetabix this morning, and off he goes. 30 seconds is a big lead. Nobody's seen where he went, have they? Quite some time, actually.
Yeah, he's not made a single mistake as well, being absolutely faultless. And for a good part of last season, he was winning the championship last season as well. And I think it was only really the last couple of rounds when drop weeks sort of came in. Some of the guys who started a bit late sort of nipped in front of him, but still right there in the championship. As I'm frantically going through the stats to see where he finished. Yeah, he finished third overall anyway. Jamie Fluke, of course, won that one by 6 points from Daniel Wensin.
Good old Jimmer. You watch Fernando on board as well, and it's just amazing. He's visibly more smooth with his wheel inputs than some of the other guys in here. He's not throwing the car around, not hurling it around. It's just nice balance everywhere, you know.
Another quickest lap as well. He must have known we were talking about him. So you've got back marker to worry about. Gets out of the way nice and easy. Just nice on that first corner. Not quite hitting the apex, but you don't want to go too close to that curve because it will just upset the car. Through the S's, the right, left, jump right, and then kissing this curb a second time. Sort of like a double apex corner, that one. It's interesting. Again, you've got to be so careful of the sausage curbs and just on point, really. Yeah, car looks very nice and hooked up. He's enjoying the fresh tyre and the lower fuel load at the moment. He'll be braking into this left-hander, sort of wide, late apex. Opens out the exit so you can get on the power a little bit earlier. Down this straight, using a little bit of energy. No DRS for Guerrero at this point. That's what you're braking down through the gears. Just, a little bit wide, giving a little bit more of a margin to those tricky corners, but the curbs there are so high, so if you get up on them, it really does slow you down. Doesn't need to push that mad. Through the corner that Alonso was cheeky on, and around through this reverse Turkey Istanbul turn 8 replica style corner. Doesn't have quite the same effect, if you ask me. It should have been a lot wider and a lot faster. And through the final couple of corners. Alright, and that's a lap around COTA, and I have to say, a pretty decent lap as well. And you're right, looks effortlessly smoothly, and he definitely is listening to us because he went and did a new fastest lap again.
Yeah, he's doing the old Vettel thing, isn't he? And not continuing beating everybody. He wants to absolutely destroy them as well. So he's still pushing quite hard, which is doesn't need to, just doesn't make sure it doesn't bite him. But you know, he knows what he's doing in this thing a lot better than I do. So it's an interesting track. It's, you know, the first section is very Silverstone-esque, and you can see where they've taken some ideas from that. And it's quite nice. I just wonder, does it need as many of those little chicanes at the end as it could? You know, the tight hairpin onto a fast straight is typical Formula One now. It's a way of being allowed to get the car behind to close up to the car in front and stay close enough for a DRS pass, so they've got something to show on TV. It's this whole section.
Yeah, really, I hit on it, and
yeah,
cynical. That was almost as bad as me chomping at iRacing earlier on.
Well, you look at some of the tracks that have been built in recent years, and there are some good ones. You know, Portimao in Portugal is a great circuit, and you've got Aragon, which has got some brilliant corners on it, and the Turkish F1 track, which had that fantastic double apex, which was really challenging for drivers, you know. And then you look at this, and there are good elements to it, and then it's frustrating, these little 90-degree niggly left-handers that are just, they could have been such great corners, but it's like somebody went, no, we can't do that because the cars won't be able to follow each other.
Yep. No, you're right. There is a lot of that based and built around the car now.
It's not designed with a soul, it's designed by an engineer.
Yeah, what I wouldn't give to have Istanbul scanned and put onto this. That makes for some awesome racing.
Before they rip it up, there's a good chance they might.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy. That would be such a tragedy, because one of the greatest circuits, you know. And that really did open up a lot of overtaking, that circuit as well. That long, that long turn 8 that went into that sort of back straight, and then there was that little chicane, and then you had that another long straight there, and there was loads of overtaking going on. You can remember all the battles that were side by side going through that last sort of like long chicane complex that led in again and down into that turn 1. The adverse camber into turn 1 made it really interesting as well.
Yep.
Oh my god, bring that
left-handers at the bottom of that hill. It was a brilliant track. Yeah, bring it back. No one wants to go to Azerbaijan. No one wants to go to a country that's got the worst human rights record on the face of the planet, just about. No one is interested. Stop playing games with our sport, Bernie. Please. Not that he's going to listen, ever.
Yeah, that's it. It'll be on. He's one of the 13 watchers right now. I can trust you.
Yeah. Thank you, Bernie. Please don't sue me. 38.8. That's another fantastic lap, isn't it? He's really not relenting on these guys at all.
Well, he's just using this as practice for the Pro Series, you know, just doing his thing out there and just trying to bang the laps in, because you just can't let up at all in that series. He'll have people around him. Competition is going to be very, very tough. Mark just hasn't been able to do anything about Thomas. He's just dropped back now. He's constantly slower, so I don't know if he'll come back at him like he did at the end of the first stint as tyres start to wear out a bit, but we'll keep an eye on that. We do have a little battle going on the track right now, and it's already over and done with. We just literally caught the end of it. Vincenzo moving up to 14th, Francisco in the 16 car there. Just made a little mistake.
I am being told in the comments as well that COTA is great as it is, and that slow section can be very satisfying, so thanks for the comments, sir. And it's clearly one of those things, track layout is always subjective, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
What one person loves, another will hate, and what another hates, another will love, so it's no one will ever have exactly the same opinion on everything.
But don't get us wrong, in different cars, this circuit's brilliant. Now, I've drove a few different cars around here, and it's awesome. Like the Renault, the Formula Renault, lots of fun. Yeah, because you can follow so close anyway, because the area is not a problem. And GT cars, lots and lots of fun. Yeah.
See, I found the opposite. I like driving the F1 car Ranger because it feels like a track that's designed to be fast. The slower cars, I didn't like it as much. It was in the slower cars that I didn't dislike it. And the V8 supercar layout, I really disliked.
I'll tell you what actually is an excellent car to drive around here. The Legend. I think the West version, the Legend. I remember jumping in a hosted session here in the Legend. Absolute right cracker fun. That's a car that should be on a road series if there ever wasn't one. Massive amounts of drifting and reverse lock, and yeah, it's just so much fun. Yeah, if you haven't tried it, trust me, go and try it. It's awesome.
Legend's a good car anyway. Very underused.
Well, there really is nothing going on out there. This is why we're just absolutely chatting, you know, a bit of everything. This is right. I fully expect something will close back up and that's a battle towards the end. But yeah, right now 38 of 58. Thank you, Matt, for jumping in. You can imagine what it'd have been like if it was just me. I'd have been sat here going, what can I say now?
Can have a best livery competition. And Mark's still pushing. Mine chasing after Thomas. He's not letting him off the hook. He's doing what he can to keep the pressure piled on him.
Yeah, let's see if we can get the closest camera here. See what the guys think. Who's got the best livery out there at the moment? We'll go through them. Fernando, team positive, I think. And I know these guys wrote to me and said, "Oh, I want the team names in there. We'll get them added for the Pro Series." We've got a completely new overlay and everything being built. There's no point in getting all this stuff updated until the Pro Series one kicks in next week.
Yeah, and I can't help mention him because I don't know.
Don't worry. But yeah, nice livery. Seen that on a few cars. Sebastian still running a default livery out there. I'm afraid you do not win.
No pois.
Esteban in his classic livery now that he's run, whether it be Indy cars or F1, he always seems to run this. I think it's a GP2 replica, if I remember rightly. Quite like that, but it obviously hasn't got the sponsors on there.
Very Williams, 1990 Williams-esque, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Quite like that, yep.
And then
it's not bad. Thanks, shout out to all his sponsors as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, Alessio here as well. Have a look at that. Is that which team that is actually? It's quite nice, dark, with the white sponsorship on it.
Yep, very clean. Pretty obvious which one Thomas is going for, the old Williams, current Williams livery.
Yeah, the Martini, very nice. No points for that though, because I'm sure that's come straight off Trading Paints, sorry.
What? You just look at points for Trading Paints liveries, it might not be his, but it's still...
Well, that's what my point is, it's probably not... Unless he comes on and says, here's the Photoshop file.
I disagree. The Williams ones always look nice.
Mark Warmington, the Blue Flag Racing.
Yeah, I like that. Nice and clean, good colours.
Francisco currently sat in 7th place. Looks nice.
Yeah, the Team Italia, that's I quite like those. I've seen a couple of guys running something similar in the Oval as well, so I think he's got a teammate out here as well somewhere.
And then we've got Augusto in 8th. He has got a teammate out there as well, which is where if he's still out there. Victor is his teammate.
And Gary obviously being teammates with Mark.
Yeah.
He's running some nice consistent lap times as well, low 42s.
Another default livery. Hannes.
And Gary, Hannes, yeah. Interesting colour choice, but yeah, default. No pois.
Evan in the Lucky Strikes. Does look nice, I have to say.
Yeah, if not completely irrelevant because it's effectively now banned.
Yeah.
Of course, not allowed tobacco advertising on any form of Formula 1 anymore.
Thank you. I'm trying to work out if this is the sponsors on there. No, you've got some unique sponsors on there. I thought for a minute that was like almost a generic livery. But no, custom sponsors on there and things like that.
That's quite 1990s Benetton, isn't it?
Hmm.
There's times for each driver doing this as well, don't we? See,
yeah,
exactly. Two things.
Andreas as well. He's
default livery in it.
Default one, I'm afraid. And then Vincenzo.
Yeah, another Team Italia car.
Yeah, it doesn't have the. This one doesn't have the black on it, like the front and the back. Not quite as much anyway. It's slightly different to his teammates one. I prefer the other one, I have to say. We just quickly compare the two. See what I mean? Yeah, definitely much better. Maybe they're not teammates because
I can't tell the difference, to be honest. So I'm either blind, which is entirely possible.
Yeah, quite different on my screen. Maybe trading paints didn't work quite well. Francesco in 15th. That's the default one as well, isn't it? Yes, it is.
Yep.
That sort of weird, sort of merged colour.
Victor's looking, well, yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, the F1
Quite
champs
nice.
team as well. Like you can see his car grabbing as well, can't you? Down the straight.
Yeah, it does look a bit of a handful to drive that.
149s now. He's dropped down to 16th. I tell you what, fair play for him to continue because there's a lot of people out there that just go, do you know what? Stop this. I'm out of here.
Me one of them, I think.
Yeah. Ronnie
had a few NASCARs that bent that way. It's not very nice.
Yeah. Very old style McLaren-esque, but unfortunately it is a default one.
Yep.
Kin there as well. Is that a default?
I think so.
Does look like it.
I gotta be honest, I'm not digging the blue rims against the green either.
Yeah, I've seen the team name before, but I'm not. I would have thought they'd have done a livery, but yeah, I'm not seeing that. I don't know if that's just the livery's not gone on there, because like you say, the blue and the green. That's not a good look.
Kim Kyong Il. Ow.
That's him.
Yep.
Who else? I'm not
sure we're going to see his name right. I apologise badly if I'm not.
I'm not sure we're going to get to see anybody else because they're not driving around. And I think Victor's stopped now as well, so he's had enough.
You'd obviously heard what we were saying.
Yeah.
Mine. Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with Alessio's personally. That one seemed to be the nicest one. As much as I like the F1 replica ones.
You're not going to award points to them, are you?
Yeah. There's no imagination there, is it? When you've got to build your own one, I think there's a lot more, creativity.
I'm going to go with Takeo. I think I quite like that. Like I said, it's old classic Benetton style. I like that. Need some white wheels for me, but.
Right, what's going on right now? Mark Warmington closing back in on Thomas Busch, and I think that's exactly what we saw the last sort of stint. So pulled away a little bit, but now Mark coming back at him, 1.2 seconds away, quite in the DRS zone yet. Thomas has got a little bit of traffic, and in fact he's through, and Mark's about to go by as well. We'll hold him up slightly going into, that's a bit of a random decision, Mark. You just cost yourself half a second of time there. Just wait behind and DRS past and,
unfortunately for him, the car in front has got DRS as well, though, so it's not making it work, is it?
Yeah, just a little bit, way to get by too quickly there and actually just tuck in behind and get that slipstream, and the back marker would have surely just pulled out the way if you're a couple of tenths of a second back.
Vincenzo determined to get himself the Esteban Gutierrez award for
makes a mistake, surely.
Longest period of. He's just not letting him by at all, is he?
Mark's had to drive all the way around the outside there.
Yeah, not making any friends there, Vincenzo.
1.9 seconds, lost him 7/10 of a second on his rival. Actually, it went to 2.2 after all of that, so that whole second. We just checked the lap times as well. 50. Well, actually, there wasn't a great deal in there. 52.5 versus 52.7, so they both got affected somewhat in that lap. So you could say it evened itself out a little bit.
Yeah, still expect the air inside Mark's cockpit is to be have gone up a few degrees in temperature. I expect there'll be steam coming out of his ears, fogging up the inside of his visor.
Yeah, and that brings me to my next point, which would be the next best feature that iRacing could include, and that's being able to do some hand gestures out of the cockpit.
No, I don't think that's a good idea. I think I know how they would go. That would they would be abused very quickly. If people want to do that, they can put themselves on Twitch and stream it and get a GoPro. It'll work just as well.
I think it'd be quite funny to watch on the streams and stuff like that.
It's the old Murray one. I'm number one, he says.
But yeah, really not an awful lot going on out there now. Sorry guys, can't make it any more entertaining than it is. Assuming that I'm watching this and you're watching this, Matt, fair play to the 8 people. Oh no, it's dropped down even more.
No.
Go and watch Le Mans, far more entertaining. It's going to be about half hour left of that.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many we've got now. How many we got?
Oh, who's that? Someone
8.
around. Who was around there? Someone just made a mistake and is recovering, but I'm not sure who it was. Nope. Coming out of the final turn, just ahead of the leader it was at the time as well, so fortunately spun out of the way. Ferrero didn't have anything to worry about.
Nope, somebody asked what's the best strategy for ERS deployment. Although not in the YouTube chat, that's in the... It's the Oval guys, they're asking just curiosity.
Well, I think generally now everybody is using the push to pass button on a high mode, so you get greater traction through the corners, push the car without burning up the tyres, and then in the straightaway sections you push the button to get the power that you need. Certainly not how it's done in the real world, but seems to be working better than anything else. Exactly how you manage that is entirely up to you, but yeah, it seems to be everybody's going that route. Gives you something else to do in the car, of course, so you're constantly playing with that. 10 laps to go here. Long old race, 100%. I think sometimes as well, Matt, when we do these 100% races in the Grand Prix Series, it's what also puts people off, because it's an hour and a half. We're going to be racing, well, more than that. I think we started at 12 o'clock with the session.
Doesn't feel it, does it?
No, not at all. I think we're going to be closer to sort of an hour and 50. It's a long, it's a long
fantastic.
It's a long old one, and yeah, again, I appreciate it for you, and don't worry, I'll get you a beer when we meet up later next year.
Oh, there's worse things you could be doing with your time. It's always the same though. 100% races. Some people scream for them in the forums, and then other people don't like them. Yeah, so they put them out there for people in the community, but. To be fair, I think, again, they probably scheduled it as a 100% race before they realised that they would be doing Le Mans this weekend, so...
Yeah. And I think, it links up with the real Grand Prix just going on, so that's kind of why it's there, and... but it comes down to, the vocal minority, like the purist people, the ones that want to see everything, But actually, the majority of the racers always keep themselves quiet. And they're the ones that you really want to tailor these things to build the numbers up. So you do these races, and actually it puts people off. This is the first time that we've done a single split broadcast for a long time, and here we are at COTA, which has never been great for popularity, and we're doing a 100% race on it as well. So that just drives people away even more. Yeah, maybe some like 40% sprint races might not be a bad shout, So. Get it done in like 45 minutes.
In the press today suggesting exactly the same thing for Formula 1 in real world, saying that some shorter races would be good for viewers.
Yeah.
I think you have to be careful, is my answer to that. Too many times you can throw the baby out with the bathwater in chasing viewers, and
indeed.
I think there's a lot that Formula 1 needs to do better, but don't think throwing its heritage away is the right way to do it. And I would say that in terms of a lot of the ways it goes about things at the minute. It's already chipping away at the heritage of the sport enough. I think it's time they actually went back to its roots a little bit. I mean, the idea of dropping a race in Germany to go and race in Korea is just... it's laughable.
Yep, what can you say as well? Two iconic tracks. You know? That really need to be on there as well, so... You know, I know like safety changed the old Hockenheim, but I love that circuit so much, you know, it's such a shame when they changed that through to the much smaller one. Really, we lost something there. Oh, another spinner.
Yeah, the new one has provided some good racing, though, hasn't it?
No, it has. And I do like that layout as well. It's a great circuit, but yeah, it's just the old one, just so much greater. And of course, that'll never ever be brought back as well as nature has taken over in that area. They dug the track up and everything's regrowing back there.
Yep. And the Jim Clark Memorial buried out in the forest there now. It is a shame. Things have to move forward, I know, but series have to be careful not to throw away their heritage when and what's made them as popular as they are when they move to new things.
Another spinner, so people really struggling in this late stage as well. Let's just go span from 8th. Didn't lose any places though, so again it's got a far big enough gap behind him, and he was perhaps a little bit closer to Augusto than he was, but yeah, it didn't look like he was going to close in. Warmington must have made a mistake as well. He's 6.8 seconds behind Thomas, so really...
Yeah, 43.8 lap, didn't he?
Yeah, really nothing is going on out there now. So, as Seb just puts Francisco a lap down, and Fernando's actually lapped all the way up to 5th place now. Where is Thomas? And it's going to be up to 4th in no time as well. He's certainly going to get that done. Will he catch up and lap Alessio, who's another 8 seconds up the road, just going into turn 1 now? You can see him in the distance, maybe. So can't see him going any further than that, but to lap the field up to 3rd place is going to be pretty amazing. Wouldn't be surprised if in the cockpit now that's kind of what is keeping Fernando going forward, because he's got nothing from behind as far as competition goes. So it's just a personal challenge now, just to see how far he can lap up to.
Well, it's as you said, isn't it? If you're going to be pushing towards a Pro Series, that's somebody sat with a stopwatch telling him what's going on in the race, what time he's aiming for. I'm sure there'll be some people trying to put pressure on him internally and try and keep it working, because you do need that. Yeah, the pressure of competition when you get to that kind of series is a big step up from what people face normally.
DRS open, and Thomas doesn't worry about that at all. Leaves the door open. That's another one done. So yeah, he's actually about 6-7 seconds behind Alessio to get that position done as well. 8 laps to go. Lapping 2 seconds lap faster, so I think that's gonna fair say that he's gonna get there as well.
He's really dragging the wheels off that thing, isn't he? He's very, very impressive. Just consistent lap times in the 139. Well, I'll say that. He's just done a 140. Commentator curse, thank you very much. Applicable in sim racing as it has in real life.
Yep, hi Will, welcome to the race. Answer your question as I just posted. No, not really. Been nothing going on. You want to listen to me and Matt have a good old rant for an hour, wind it back a bit, but apart from that, no, not much else has gone on.
To be fair, you can find that in TeamSpeak on pretty much any given day, as any of the oval guys that I race with frequently will tell you.
There you go, Matt and Dave Baker's just been listening to us as well.
Oh, this
What more
fan just
could be
made a little
worse?
mistake there.
What more could be worse? He's out walking the dog, listening to us. You know, and he's all he can do is listening to us. We can't even make it exciting for him.
Well, we could.
Really?
Since he's out walking the dog and listening and not actually watching, we could just make it up and go and pretend it's exciting. But yeah, no. Sorry, Dave. I'm more impressed that he just likes to listen to us that much. He's going to keep us going while he's out walking the dog. Make it that little extra bit exciting and that little bit more relaxing. Yeah, a little mistake there at the end of the straight for Isfan. That lap 2:12. That lap was it cost him a lot more time than I thought, actually. That's allowed Alessio to close back in on him, so the race isn't done yet. There may be some action coming at the end here.
Yeah, and also Gary Larson is closing in on Francisco as well. So 8th and 9th coming together.
High enough at
Maybe
the end. Come on, guys, that's it.
Final 6 laps of this race, there could be something.
Dave demands some action. Also wants to be entertained while he's out with the dog. Hashtag do it for Dave. So yeah, Alessio's definitely closed that gap in a little bit on this van, hasn't he? He's not giving up on that at all.
Yeah, let's see what sort of lap time Esteban puts in now. It's 4 seconds between them.
And if he needed some incentive, he's got it now, because every now and again he'll look up coming out of the corner and he'll just see his fan up ahead of him.
I think Esteban's pulled away actually this lap. Let's see. Make the mistake, but going to recover okay. That's a 140.2, so smashes it against their 142.1. So that battle is done as well.
Thanks for that. Now, that's what you need to do sometimes, isn't it? You make a mistake, you're just going to get straight back on the horse and...
Yeah, just as Dave mentioned, really, we fully expected today's race to be a bit quiet, single split and everything else, with everything going on, all the people getting ready for all the relevant Pro Series. Le Mans is going on, the Vegas thing is going on, and then of course there's people getting ready for the World Cup, and there's a lot of other different events kicking about at the moment.
So what's the PLS button on the steering wheel for then?
Beats me, it's not on my one. Without looking, I really couldn't tell you.
It's obviously got the balance adjuster and the pit confirm, minus plus, differential entry, brake bias, torque adjuster.
Pit lane speed limiter?
Yeah, it could be, yeah.
Yeah. Right, where is Guerrero? Guerrero pitted again. I guess he wants to put a new fastest lap of the race in. Realised he wasn't going to.
I think he had the gap to do it, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He's 15 seconds ahead, so he just made it a bit more exciting. Let's just see. Last lap was his out lap, I believe. Well, that might be his in lap. 1:38.302.
Yeah.
Not that much quicker than what he had done before, it's fair to say, but it does take about a lap or two to get the tyres in like the perfect place. So expect him to really nail it the next couple. Yeah, we'll stay with him. There really is nothing going on elsewhere. All the battles have died on. Mark Warmington must have had some damage because he's like 2 seconds lap off pace now. but again, he's in the middle of nowhere as far as anyone else is concerned, so shouldn't lose a place. We'll hold on to that 6th.
Just it's like watching him, the rhythm that he's got into through all those fast corners and things, and every time he's just about kissing the apex and missing that sawtooth on the inside of the corner. There's nasty yellow curbs that, you hit one of them, about it. But he's just nicks the inside, just kisses him every single lap. I just find that anytime I watch the guys that are in the Pro Series or aiming at the Pro Series, the guys at this kind of level, and just there they can hit that same spot every lap.
I remember I had my graphics off one season, like turned right down just to try and get as many frames as I could, just struggling a little bit, older hardware. And yeah, when you hit one of those sausage curves when they're invisible because they weren't showing up, that was quite a shock for you. Like, what? No sausage curves? They got rid of them? I went there and took a bit more of the thing off. A bit more of the corner got sent flying. I was like, no, they're still there.
Yeah, oops.
Let's see what he does this time. Looked like a slowish lap, but it's probably going to be quicker. That was a very slow lap, so really just saved his power, building up that energy. He's definitely just having a bit of fun out there right now. And we'll stay with you, Guerrero as well. Come on, let's have it. In fact, let's go on board. See what he can do. Definitely looks like he's pushing it a little bit more this time.
It's visibly quicker, isn't it?
Not the best of line through the last part there. Run just a little bit deep. Compromises exit, but thinking the grip is going to get the DRS here as well. Perfect. That'll do nicely. That should add to the time, as long as the back marker, of course, gets out the way. I'm not sure he's going to do. So going to affect his lap a little bit here. Oh, the braking! Look at the difference.
It nearly affected more than his lap, isn't it?
Yeah. And well, that's that one done. He's already short shifting again. So power saving mode engaged. Yeah, so Fernando apparently on the stream going to try and hit the world record in the race. Yeah, why not? Such a shame, actually. The back marker there just moved out of the way. That would have facilitated that nicely with the DRS as well. Track is quite cool. Lap times are quite quick, so could be on. Could we have a quick? Should we go and find out what the world record is? Let's have a look. Come on, world records. See what he needs to hit. 2 laps to do it. Oh, he's going to have to go somewhere. 1:37.806 currently held by Apex Racing's Patrick Holzman.
Always nice to know.
Part of me's not rooting for you now, Fernando. Can't knock one of our lads off the top. A bit of traffic ahead. This is going to be the lap he's going to have to do it. I'm sure he's going to catch that traffic for the next one. In the final sector, Vicky double right. Car gets very light through there as you get back on the power. Couple of bites at that corner as well. That's not going to help him. Needs to get this long turn right, kissing the apex. A little bit wide on the second half of that. Compromises this corner just a fraction, but again gets it nice. Doesn't run over the outside, which can invalidate the lap very, very easily. Oh, a little bit wide into the final corner as well.
Just missed the apex a bit, didn't he?
Let's see what he gets.
37.7.
Well, that's that's done that then. So nicely done. 37.764. So takes it by about a 0.5 of a second. As long as there was no off tracks in that, that'll be all good.
That's the first time I've been able to commentate on a world record.
Well, final lap of the race as well. This could be even better. It depends where he catches this traffic here and how much. Ah, he's cruising. Straight away, can tell. Yeah, he's already done it. Don't need to go again. Yeah, good work by Fernando. Built himself up a nice lead. Is available to have a little play, and yeah, in the end, pulls away with maximum points from the race, and of course the world record as well to boot.
Call that a grand slam, wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly. Led every single lap, pole position. Actually, he hasn't led every single lap. No, according to my data, he has led every single lap because he managed to overtake Sebastian, didn't he, on that first when Sib got by. Fernando was actually leading across the start-finish line before that, and then got by in the lap as well afterwards. So every single lap.
Yeah, a massively dominant race, really.
Yeah.
Able to have himself an extra pit stop.
Yeah, impressive. The final lap really here is almost the same as his parade lap. I wonder if he could pit and still win it coming into the pits. Like, thanks, I'm done. Yeah, top job from him. Wins the race very, very comfortably. Here comes Sebastian. Only 8 seconds behind in the end, but that really doesn't tell the story at all.
Yeah, fine job for second place.
Yeah, good drive. Had to come through the field as well. Just didn't really have anything to answer for Guerrero. Good half second off. Estevan in third, coming down the back straight right now. Watch him through. He's only 3.7 seconds ahead of Alessio and Thomas Bruges, just a couple of seconds behind him. So this little group did come back together, but not quite enough for it to be exciting.
Yeah, I think Istvan's cruise in his last couple of laps have been quite slow.
I'm pretty sure he had a mistake and got some damage somewhere as well. So pace dropped off all of a sudden really quickly, and he's just been slipping back. Warmington as well with some problems. Oh, is that fuel?
I don't know. Coughed, didn't it?
Oh, the spin!
Alessio spun anyway.
Oh,
and he was out of fuel.
Yeah, well, he gets it, and of course there's a position change right at the end there as well. Thomas.
Did he get it?
Sorry?
Yeah, he did get it.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and Thomas Busch takes the position off of Alessio as well with the spin on the final corner of the final lap. Oh, you would be kicking yourself in that cockpit right now. Like, just let a top 5 go.
I think he just saw him coughing and spluttering, didn't he? And realised there was a chance there and just gave it a bit too much.
Yeah, exactly. Oh well, thank you very much for that one, Matt. I really do appreciate you coming in and helping out on that one. Tough old race to commentate on, but yeah, had some fun, some debate there. And thank you everybody who stuck with us. Not going to worry about any interviews or anything like that. I'm going to get off and get on with the next race. Obviously, the iRacing IMSA series up a bit later on today. Myself, Adam Bath. Should be in and around for that one. So yeah, we'll catch you all then. Thanks again, Matt.
No problem. Thanks, guys.